As listeners to the Fanbase Weekly likely know, I have not been able to consume a lot of media this year, but I did my best. And there were certainly some gems, one of which Claire already mentioned, but I will do a little bit of a deeper dive into, which is Andor Season 2. So I don't think that anyone could have anticipated how prescient this series would be. I mean, the series as a whole, from what I understand, was in production for the past 6 years. And yet its themes and storylines so closely mirrored our national and international headlines and our collective sense of existential dread upon its release that it seemed inhuman. And to that point, I would say so much so that the symbols and catchphrases from the show could be seen on protest signs throughout the country, globally, representing a rebellion against the fascism that has permeated the U.S. government. And it was such a remarkable thing. And I think one of the remarkable things right now in our lifetime that we are witnessing is that given that we as a whole, our generation, let's say, really grew up on media. I mean, many of us were latchkey kids. And so media became our identity in a lot of ways. And so to see forms of media like Andor, not only being embraced, but being utilized to represent actual action for purposes beyond simple fandom was really incredible, really inspirational, and I think based in hope. And so to quote a line from Andor Season 2, rebellions are built on hope. It was just, I think for me, that was the most exciting thing, not only in media, but in the world. I think I was so excited by and heartened by our ability to transcend art and to put art into practice. That was really remarkable for me. Now, to that end, because my media consumption in 2025 really all contained that same theme of acts of rebellion. And within that, radical hope, let's say. And so I will also give a mention to Sunrise on the Reaping, which was the final book in the Hunger Games franchise by Suzanne Collins. And in this story, it was telling the games of Hamish Abernathy. And so this is a character that all of us knew from the books in terms of his role in Katniss's life. And so this was turning the page, going back on how did he become the man that he became, and what did his journey look like? And so this was an incredible, again, I think that it's a very prescient series as a whole. I think it's very exciting to watch a young generation so embrace such a strong female character. And many of the characters in this are incredible and just absolutely wonderful, instilling great I don't even know. I'm so inarticulate saying this, but it gives me hope to see young people reading characters like this and being able to identify with characters like this. And so to watch Hamish become the person he is, I think in having become a parent 5 years ago, it gives you a very different perspective on life, and especially with how challenging life is for us right now as a whole, and challenging as individuals, challenging as parents. I think that this was fascinating in that it gave parents the reminder that, you know what, sometimes it's not about being the hero in our own lives. It's about planting the seeds for hope for another generation. And I think that's really what Sunrise on the Reaping was for. Because if you think about it, Katniss was, for younger generations, that is the main character. That is the hope that they need, and the hero's journey that they need to go on. But so many of us, Claire, I'm looking at you, so many of us who are not YA teenagers, also embraced this story and this franchise. And so I feel like this book was speaking specifically to us and to us who are very challenged by everything going on right now as individuals, as parents. And so I feel like this was a message by Suzanne Collins to us to say, hey, I see you. I see that it's really hard. I see that and recognize that, you know, we may not see the better world in our lifetime, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't keep fighting. And that doesn't mean we shouldn't do what we can to give our kids and the future a better life. So all of that is to say, highly recommend Sunrise on the Reaping.